Hello learners, welcome to the second video discussion of Unit 8, which is on experiential learning for inclusive classroom. We already have discussed about inclusive classroom, what facilities should be required in the inclusive classroom and different aspects related to inclusive classroom. So, in this discussion, we will talk about experiential learning for inclusive classroom. Education is not just about reading books and listening to lectures. It is about understanding, experiencing, and applying knowledge to real life situations. In traditional classrooms, students often learn passively, where the teacher talks and students listen. However, in recent years, education has started to move towards more active and more meaningful learning approaches. One of these most effective methods among these is experiential learning, because education is now in the modern time, different aspects has been included in the field of education. So experiential learning, while we are talking about, we have to know what is it. First of all, experiential learning is a hands on, student centered approach where learners gain knowledge and skills by doing things themselves, reflecting on their experiences and applying what they learn to new situations. It focuses on learning through experience rather than just memorizing facts. This method has become especially important in inclusive classrooms, where students with diverse backgrounds, abilities, and learning styles learn together. An inclusive classroom welcomes all learners, children with disabilities, those from different social or cultural backgrounds, and students with different learning needs. Such classrooms require flexible teaching methods that engage every learner. Experiential learning provides this flexibility and ensures that learning is meaningful, it is accessible, and enjoyable for all. This discussion will talk the meaning, importance, and process of experiential learning, its application in inclusive classroom, and advantages and challenges associated with it. It also explains how teachers can plan and use experiential learning effectively to create a truly inclusive and engaging learning environment. Now let's come to the point about meaning and concept of experiential learning. Experiential learning is based on the simple idea that people learn best when they actively participate in the learning process. Instead of just reading or hearing about a content, students learn by experiencing it directly. For example, students learning about plants could visit a garden, plant seeds, and observe how they grow. Through these real life activities, they understand concepts more deeply and remember them better. Educational theorist David Kolb is one of the most well known figures associated with experiential learning. He defined it as the process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. According to Cobb, learning is not just a one step process, it involves a continuous cycle of doing, reflecting, and thinking and applying. Cobb's experiential learning cycle, Cobb proposed a four-stage model that explains how people learn through experience. These stages are: first one, concrete experience. In this stage, learners take part in an activity or have a new experience. It could be a classroom experiment, a role play, a community project, or a group discussion. The learner is directly involved in doing something. Reflective observation. After the experience, students reflect on what happened. They think about what they did, what they learned, and what could be done differently. This reflection helped them make sense of their experiences. Abstract conceptualization. In this stage, learners from ideas or theories based on their reflections. They connect their experiences to concept, rules, or general principles. For example, after observing plant growth, students might conclude that sunlight and water are essential for plants. Active experimentation. Finally, students apply their new understanding to real situations, which is very important. They test their ideas or try out new things, new ways of doing things. This leads to a new experiences and the cycle begins again. And this model shows that learning is continuous. Each stage connects to the next, and students keep learning by repeating this cycle in different contexts. The strength of this model is that it can be adapted for students of all abilities and backgrounds, making it ideal for inclusive education. Now, discuss experiential learning in an inclusive classroom. Inclusive classrooms bring together students who may differ in abilities, learning styles, language, or cultural background. Teachers in such settings need teaching methods that engage everyone equally. Experiential learning is especially useful because it provides multiple ways to participate and learn. For example, a student with hearing difficulties can learn by performing hands-on activities. Say for another example, a student who struggles with reading can understand better by observing or doing. Students who are shy can express themselves through group project or art-based activities. In other words, experiential learning respects differences and gives every student the chance to contribute meaningfully. Let us look at some specific ways in which experiential learning supports inclusion. First of all, enhances students' engagement. In traditional teaching, students may get bored or distracted because they are passive listeners. But in experiential learning, they are active participants. They are involved in projects, fieldwork, experiments, or role plays. This keeps their interest alive and help them focus better. For example, instead of reading about pollution, students might visit a nearby river, observe waste disposal, and record their findings. Such direct engagement makes learning exciting and real. When students are engaged, they also develop curiosity and motivation to learn more. Number two, supports different learning styles. Every student learns differently. Some understand better through visuals, some through listening, and others through doing. Experiential learning supports all these styles. Visual learners can observe and record. Auditory learners can discuss and reflect. Kinesthetic learners can perform tasks physically. By providing multiple forms of learning, teachers ensures that no student is left behind. In inclusive classrooms, this flexibility is extremely valuable because it allows students with different abilities to access the same lesson in different ways. Promote social interaction and collaboration. Experiential learning often involves group activities where students must work together to complete a task. In inclusive classrooms, this helps to break down barriers among students to different abilities and background. Through teamwork, students learn to communicate effectively, respect differences, help and learn from each other, and develop empathy and cooperation. For example, in a group science experiment, each member contributes according to their strength. One may write observations, another may handle tools, while another may take photographs. These shared learning experiences build social relationships and a sense of community. Number 4, builds critical thinking and problem solving skills. When students are directly involved in real life tasks, they face challenges that require them to think, analyze, and find solutions. For instance, a classroom project on waste management, students may have to design ways to reduce waste in their school. Such experiences develop their critical thinking skills because they learn to question, analyze causes, and propose solutions. This also builds confidence as students realize they can use their knowledge to solve actual problems. In inclusive classroom, this approach ensures that all learners, regardless of ability, can participate in meaningful learning activities that encourage independent and creative thinking. Develops self-confidence and self-efficacy. Experiential learning gives students ownership of their learning instead of following fixed instructions. They make decisions, experiment, and learn from both success and mistakes too. This process helps them see the results of their own efforts. When students realize they can accomplish tasks on their own, their self confidence grows. For learners who often struggle in traditional classrooms, such as those with learning disabilities or low self esteem, this success can be life changing. It empowers them to believe that they are capable and valued members of the classroom community. Examples of experiential learning activities and inclusive classrooms. Number 1, project based learning. Students work together or projects that involve research, creativity, and presentation. For example, designing a model eco friendly village can involve art, science, and language skills. Number 2, field trips and community visits. Visiting museums, farms, and historical sites provides hands-on experiences that connect classroom learning with the real world. Role plays and simulations. Students act out real life situations such as a mock parliament or a mock sense, which helps to develop communication and empathy. Service learning. Involvement in community service like organizing a cleanliness drive or teaching younger children helps students to connect learning with social responsibility. Number 5, laboratory experiments. Science experiments where students explore, observe, and record findings promote curiosity and hands on discovery. Number 6, art and creative expression. Activities like drawing, storytelling, or dramatization allow all learners to express understanding in nonverbal and imaginative ways. Pros and cons of experiential learning in inclusive classroom. While experiential learning offers many benefits, it also presents certain challenges. Understanding both sides help teachers to plan better. So, pros of experiential learning we should discuss. Number 1, promotes active participation. Students take part in hands-on activities instead of being passive listeners. This keeps them more engaged and motivated. Number 2, encourages personalized learning. Every student can learn at their own pace and their own way. Teachers can design activities that suit each student's level of understanding. Number 3, improves knowledge retention. When student experiences concept directly, they tend to remember them longer than if they only read or heard about them. Number 4, fosters creativity and innovation. Experiential learning challenges students to think differently and explore new ideas, promotes creativity and innovation, enhances social and emotional learning. Working with peers helps students build communication, empathy, and teamwork skills, essential qualities for both personal and professional life. Makes learning relevant. Students can see the connection between what they learn in class and how it applies in real life. This makes learning more meaningful and purposeful. Number 7 encourages reflection. Experiential learning always includes reflection, which helps students become aware of their own thinking and learning process. Now let's discuss what are the cons of experiential learning. Experiential learning have different pros, different facilities which make the uh, inclusive classroom more enjoyable, more achievable, and now it has some cons also. Number one, time consuming. Organizing and conducting experiential learning activities can take more time than traditional lectures. Teachers need time to plan, implement, and assess activities. Resource intensive. Some experiential activities may require materials, field trips, or community involvement, which might not always be affordable or available. Assessment challenges. Measuring learning outcomes from experiences can be difficult. Traditional exams may not fully capture what students have learned through hands on tasks. Number 4, may not fit all subjects. Some subjects like abstract mathematics or theoretical philosophy may be harder to teach through direct experiences. Teacher preparation. Teachers need proper training to design and manage experiential activities effectively. Without preparation, the approach may lose its effectiveness. Number 6, classroom management issues. Active learning environment can be noisy and chaotic if not properly managed. Teachers must balance freedom with discipline. Teachers' role in implementing experiential learning. In experiential learning, the teacher is not just a lecturer but a facilitator, guide, and mentor. Teachers play several key roles. Number 1, planner. Teachers design meaningful activities that connect to learning goals and accommodate students' different needs. Facilitator. Teacher guides students during activities, helping them make connections and ensuring that everyone participates. Number 3, observer and supporter. Teachers observe how students work, identify difficulties, and provide support when needed. Number 4, reflective practitioner. After activities, teachers encourage reflection, asking questions like what did you learn and how can you apply it next time. Assessor. Teachers use alternative assessment tools such as portfolios, journal, or presentation to measure learning outcomes. Collaborator. Teachers may work with parents, special educators, and community members to design inclusive experiential experiences. Motivator. Encouragement from the teacher builds confidence, especially for students who struggle academically or socially. Now, we should discuss also assessment in experiential learning. Traditional exams are not enough to assess experiential learning. Teachers need to use experiential learning. Teachers need to use authentic and flexible assessment methods such as 1, learning portfolios. Collections of students' work showing progress over time. Reflective journals. Students write about what they did, learned, and felt. Peer and self-assessment. Students evaluate their own and others' contributions. Performance-based tasks. Presentations, models of community reports that show real learning outcomes. Teacher observation. Teachers note how students engage, cooperate, and solve problems during activities. These methods give a more complete picture of students' learning and growth. Experiential learning and National Education Policy 2020. It is very important topic that has to be discussed here. India's National Education Policy 2020 emphasizes active, flexible, and holistic learning that caters to all types of learners. It encourages experiential, competency-based, and multidisciplinary education. NEP 2020 promotes activity-based learning in early education, hands-on and project-based learning across levels, integration of arts, sports, and vocational education, and inclusion of children with disabilities through flexible pedagogy and assistive technology. Thus, experiential learning directly supports NEP's goals of education for all, by all, and with all. Strategies for successful implementation. To make experiential learning effective and inclusive, teachers can adopt the following strategies. Start small. Begin with simple activities that connect classroom lessons to daily life. Number 2, plan with inclusion in mind. Modify activities so that every learner can participate meaningfully. Number 3, use local resources. Field trips and projects can use nearby places, local experts, or community issues. Encourage reflection. After every experience, help students discuss what they learned and how they felt. Integrate technology. Videos, simulations, and virtual tours can provide experiences when real visits are not possible. Collaborate with others. Work with parents, peers, and special educators for better support. Ensure safety with accessibility. Check that activities are safe and accessible for all learners. Balance structure and freedom. Give students space to explore but also keep learning goals clear. So, we can say that in conclusion that experiential learning is not just a teaching method. It is a philosophy that believes students learn best when they are actively involved in their own learning. In an inclusive classroom, it becomes even more powerful because it allows every student, regardless of ability or background, to learn meaningfully through experience. By combining doing, reflecting, thinking, and applying, experiential learning helps develop curiosity, creativity, empathy, and confidence. It transforms the classroom from a place of passive learning into a vibrant community of explorers. Though it comes with challenges like time consuming, like resource requirement, and benefits far outweigh and drawbacks. With proper planning, support, and training, experiential learning can make education more inclusive, equitable, and enjoyable for all learners. In the spite of COP's theory and NEP 2020's vision, experiential learning reminds us that education is not about filling minds, it is about lighting fires of curiosity and growth. When students learn by experience, they do not just remember information, they understand life itself. So, these are all about experiences learning in the classroom, inclusive classroom, and how much experiential learning is important for the inclusive classroom to make it more and more achievable. Thank you.